It's approaching 8 p.m. on October 24th, 2025. We're on the northern boundary of Route 9 with the Canadian border just beyond there. Route I-87 is taking people across. And we're going to see just how far back these trucks are backed up. The port at St. Bernard de Lacolle for the trucks that's handling the trucks is going under new construction. And apparently the Canadian government didn't plan ahead, or really didn't care to plan ahead. The U.S.-Canadian relations as they are right now, they're probably doing this out of spite, but they're not prepared to handle the trucks that are going north. So they are backed up. All the way through here. I'm heading south now on Route 9 into the village of Champlain. More cars coming. No, nobody in my road. These are all vehicles that I see that are I got one coming at me here. Not sure if it's a truck or a school bus. Looks like it's a truck. Some of the trucks are trying to sneak in on the side road up here. And in between some of these trucks are cars. Now the car lanes handling there's some cars going through. They're aware of the situation. When I drove up this way, I did see some cars in between some of the trucks. There's another truck coming. So the cars that are heading north, they're not being impacted, except that if they don't move over into the right lane and they stay in the left lane with the trucks, then they're not going anywhere. They're going to move just at the same pace the trucks are. So if you're in that situation, if you're driving a car heading north, don't get behind the trucks, because you'll be there for hours. We first saw this on Facebook last night, but I just got back from a cold, wet soccer game, and I didn't feel like going out and doing a video. Tonight I just finished another soccer game, but it was in the comfort of a booth, so I figured I would come out and capture that. We're now heading into the downtown portion of the Champlain village. We're going to go as far as the roundabouts so we can see how far back up past Route 11 these trucks may be lined up. Now you would think that any organized entity would prepare for this. The construction is supposed to be at least through the winter and sometime into 2026. When my wife and I drove into Canada a few weeks ago, when the construction was barely starting, the person who let us in at the port of entry said they were thinking it was going to go right through 2027, and it's going to really raise havoc with commercial vehicles heading north. Champlain heading south, this port of entry is constantly in the top 4 on the northern border. Not always, but constantly in the top 4. We'll go driving in the back of Garcel's Auto Sales and the UPS warehouse to our right. And we got maple fields across the road here. They get a lot of this north traffic, so how it will affect them, I can only imagine, because sooner or later the word is going to get out and the vehicles going north, they're coming pretty fast here. Look out, this guy is really zipping by there. The vehicles going north, commercial vehicles, are probably going to find another route which isn't as handy as going through Champlain, because we're 45 minutes from Montreal, and it's right off the interstate highway. So there's they're not quite backed up yet to Route 11, and that's where they stand right now. So thought we'd take a look. Last night at this time they were backed up past Route 11, and there's an excellent chance that it might end up that way again tonight. So we're very disappointed that the Canadian government didn't want to plan ahead so they could handle that northbound traffic. But I would think that it would be to their advantage to do so, but apparently that's not the situation at the present time. So hopefully that situation will change in the not too distant future, but that's the way it looked on this October 24th, 2025, in and around the Champlain port of entry and the port going north at St. Bernard de Lacolle.